Now, all of us have experienced something that I like to call a setback. And this is a wide variety of things. For example, a setback I had recently was the death of my favorite headphones. These are the ones I take to the gym. And turns out that these were left in the wash and now they're just like dead. So that's a setback. And I was pretty annoyed about it. Now, of course, the solution to this is rather simple. Okay, just buy a new one, save up for them, right? But with a lot of other things, especially the more realistic ones, right? Like, let's say someone close to you, you get in an argument with them, and now they're mad at you. I would say that's a pretty fair setback. Because you can't just go over them and give them $20 and expect them to be happy, right? So this is why it's important to have an action plan. Just to not solve these setbacks, but to help you approach them. So this kind of goes into the coping mechanism thing, but I'm no psychologist, so I can't really speak on that. That's a whole different thing. This is somewhat similar in the sense that, okay, it's a plan for how you deal with things and how you should deal with them. It's different for everyone, which is why it's very personal. So you gotta make your own mechanism for how to deal with it. Now, plenty of people would just say, especially men, I see this a lot with men, they're like, okay, well, just have a stoic mentality. And most people know that what that is the fact that, okay, something happens to you, you're like, okay, cool. It happens, let's keep it going. But I feel like that kind of represents a deeper avoidant style of dealing with things. Because most people, they don't accept it. Let's say, okay, the earbuds, they're dead. They don't accept it. They're just like, okay, yeah, they're dead. Okay, cool, whatever. And they kind of harbor resentment, anger in the back of their mind. And sure, this might be released through okay, gym, going to the gym, you come back, you're tired, and the energy's gone for a little bit. Notice how I said a little bit, because this doesn't eliminate the problem completely. This almost adds another sense to the problem, because what happens when all that anger is built up? Where's that gonna go? You might yell at someone who you love, and you can't really take stuff like that back. Obviously, that's just one random example, but you get what I'm saying. So, stoic mentality does not mean you have to ignore your emotions. One of these solutions I absolutely love and use myself is journaling. Now, this addresses more the fact that how to understand the problem. So what I'll do is I'll open my MacBook and go to the Apple Notes app, and to sort of get into this flow state of fully understanding, I don't know, it's kind of a ritual I do in a sense to get locked into deep work. I'll just kind of write about how my day was and what I'm feeling right now, stuff like that. Then I'll pick up, okay, what were some problems I had today? What are some problems I had during the week? And then I'll break those down. I was like, okay, so the earbuds broke. I don't have money to get them. And we're going to have to tough it out for a bit. We're going to go to the gym without any equipment or whatever. But when we come back, we're going to listen to some music to, enjoy it. Because I just love music. It's not something just, hype myself up with and that's it. And there's sort of a coping mechanism with that specific problem. Journaling is amazing because you could really just generally take it off your mind, whatever's happening, whatever stressor is going on, whatever. And it applies to such a wide variety of things. For example, you could come home from school, be annoyed at your classmate, write down about it. And no one's gonna look at this journal. So it has a lock feature too. If it's really that serious, press lock, bro. It's amazing. Now, I'm not saying you should do this personally, but it works for me, and so many people love doing it. Now, to understand coping, I think we really need to understand, as I said, we need to feel the emotions. And another really important thing to deal with coping is understand dopamine. Now, okay, how does this tie into whatever you're saying, right? Well, many people, everyone, to deal with coping, they usually do stuff that makes them happy, right? Especially when it's a really terrible thing that happened. And they're going to say, okay, I'm gonna eat a burger. I love burgers. I'm gonna eat a burger, and it's gonna make me happy. Now that releases a little bit of dopamine in the mind once you eat it. Obviously, we know eating junk food isn't a good thing necessarily, right? And dopamine is addictive. So when these two things collide, as they always do, you might get addicted to junk food, which is why, especially with dopamine, especially with coping, it's important to learn which type of dopamine is good for you and which is bad for you. It's more about the sources, though. For example, junk food. Would that be good or bad type of dopamine? Bad, probably. And let's say playing video games. Would it be a good or bad dopamine? Probably bad. Now, what about working out? Once you're done working out, it releases a bunch of dopamine, endorphins, whatnot, and you get super happy. If you've done a really hard leg day or something, you will definitely have felt this before. That's probably some good dopamine. So this is not to say, okay, hit a leg day every single time you're mad. No. This often leads to, as I said before, kind of harbored emotions, and it's just in the back of your mind. It eats up at you. So you got to deal with the emotions. You got to understand them. And you got to deal with them correctly. And obviously, it's not bad to use the bad source of dopamine every now and then. Sure, you could eat a burger, I don't know, maybe you're feeling bad on one day of the week. Okay, sure. Relax. Take it as a rest day. Get some extra sleep. Use it as a recharge day. Sort of as a cheat meal. Except you shouldn't really feel bad about yourself if it's just for one day. If it's for more than one day, you know this, maybe that's why you're feeling bad. Because you know you can't control yourself. So you should develop this discipline to understand that, okay, today is a rest day and tomorrow I'm back to it. So you're not living the rest day on edge of oh man, I feel so bad about this tomorrow. No, enjoy the rest day and get back to it tomorrow. Form that discipline. Now, having understood all this, I think you should have a pretty good idea of how you should deal with setbacks. Now, for the earbud thing today, this happened 2 days ago when I came out of the wash, and I was like, oh damn. Yesterday, I found out. I searched out, okay, how much is the replacement? It was around $100. I was like, okay, I'll save up for that. But in the meanwhile, I'm gonna use this time to. It's kind of forcing me to go to the gym without music, right? So I'm gonna use this time, go to the gym, and focus on contractions. With music, this is different for everyone, but with music, personally, I kind of feel a disconnection between myself and lifting. Let's say I'm doing hamstring curls. Okay, I'm kind of just spamming them and just going as rough as possible, if that makes sense. Without music, I feel more of a contraction. I'm focused. And today I hit back. Oh my god, the best pump ever. I think this is genuinely in my top 4 pumps of all time. It was freaky. Maybe I'll throw some pictures up on screen for you. This was never before, and it made me feel so good about myself. Even though yesterday it was New Year's, so I didn't eat the greatest, but I used this focus workout and boom, got a great result. And I'm gonna keep doing this. Use this to develop my how I work out, and continue with this coping strategy and use it to attack other not even similar problems, because it adjusts as depending on what problem you're putting it as. So developing a strong coping mechanism is a very important thing, even if you're a man. Not even especially, even if you're a man. Many men just put off their emotions and put them to the side. You should always get a coping mechanism, so you have a list of when you're feeling down, and it's kind of your rest day plan in a sense. So this is kind of a crazy video, kind of all over the place. I hope you kind of beared with me here, but yeah, for first day back in a little while, and I'm gonna try to put out some other even better videos for y'all. Thanks for watching.